Welcome to the Juvenile podcast, co-hosted by Juan Camargo
and Nicole Tolochko.
The purpose of this podcast is to help students trying to break into the creative industry by sharing stories of other students that have done the same.
Today, we have Kayla Brooks. She is an incoming junior at Indiana University studying international relations and journalism with a concentration in public relations. And at the moment, she is a corporate communications intern at Havas.
During her previous years in college, Kayla has worked in the Indiana University student government as the representative for the College of Arts and Sciences and the chairwoman of the Student Life Committee.
Also, her past internship was working in social media at Enhanced DNA Publishing, a small Black-owned book publishing company in Indianapolis.
And currently, in her internship at Havas, Chicago, she is being mentored by the Breaking and Entering CEO, Gino Schellenberger. So, without further ado, let's welcome Kayla Brooks. Kayla Brooks, welcome to the Juvenile podcast.
Hi, nice to be here.
Well, to actually start off, we wanted to ask you a little bit about what are some things that you've been involved with this summer other than your internship, and these can be things related to media or different hobbies that you just have in general that you've done.
Yeah, so being from Indiana, I drive a lot to my internship, like to Chicago. I stay with a lot of family because my mom's entire side of the family lives in Chicago. So for most of the summer, I just kind of been hanging out with my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, getting to hang out with them, going on walks, stuff like that. That's really cool. I'm also really interested in sewing. I really love sewing. I got a sewing machine for Christmas, so that was really cool. Mm-hmm. So I thought now would be a perfect time to try it out.
What have you sewed so far?
I sewed my dog a little costume that's like red and white for IU colors so that she can wear it on game days. That's riveting stuff, truly.
I like the energy, taking your dog to the game.
Yes.
I know. She's game days are wild, you know? Gotta
Do you sew outside or do you just do it in your house?
I do it in my house. I have a little sewing desk with my fabrics and my patterns, and I just have this little book, and I try not to poke myself or kill anyone or like that. But it's definitely beginner stuff, but hopefully I can work to dresses or something. It's a fun hobby. So yeah.
That's cool. And you're an incoming junior in college, right?
Yes, I am going to be a junior at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana.
How has your college experience been so far, and how has it changed throughout the years? What activities have you been involved in?
Yeah,
all that type of stuff.
Freshman year was really rough because I was class of 2020, very much COVID, lots of uncertainty. Everything was on Zoom. So that kind of took me out of it, and I wasn't really doing much. I was hanging out with friends, but, being in a dorm with all those people, you don't want to put yourself at risk. You don't put other people at risk in the midst of a pandemic. So when sophomore year rolled around, I was I'm making up for lost time. Definitely. I want to be involved in every club. I want to be involved in everything. I want to get to know my fellow students. I'm a very extroverted person. I love getting to know people. So I feel like college is the perfect place to do that. So I was going to take advantage of it. And so I was in Black Student Union. I was in College Democrats. My biggest thing was Indiana University student government, where I was in Congress and just advocating for students and stuff. That was really fun. But yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I'm doing at school.
So speaking about the student government at IU, you were a chairwoman and a representative. So what are some of the initiatives that you worked on, and how have you learned from your student government experience?
Yeah, I learned a lot from student government. It was my first real advocacy, my platform for advocacy, which was really awesome. I ran as a representative for the College of Arts and Sciences, which is the biggest college at IU. It's liberal arts majors, biology, sciences, all of that stuff. So I had like a lot of constituents, and a lot of people don't really think about student government. They don't really care, and like rightfully so. But there's a lot of comfort for me in knowing that like I'm doing whatever I can to help like my fellow students, which is really nice. And so second semester, I decided to get a bit more involved and become a chairwoman for the student life, which basically is like transportation, dining, residency. Because I like had a pretty bad freshman year when it came to all that stuff, and I know COVID has something to do with it, obviously. But I don't know, just making sure that that wasn't the same for like any other like freshman class. That was
Mhm.
really nice. And then yeah, so a lot of the other initiatives that I helped out on, um, having a night bus transportation for students, to make sure that students are safe. Another thing that I worked on was sexual assault awareness and consent training for students, for freshmen coming in, because I feel like that's super important. And yeah, those are some things I've been working on. And then next year, as a junior, hopefully I will be the director of student life. So I'll probably work a bit more hands on with like official people at IU, like president, dean of students, all of that, so I can be a bit more direct in like in my advocacy work, which is really nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. That's awesome. I think that's great for you. Would you call yourself like a people person?
Oh, definitely. I love talking to people. I love getting to know people. I love asking questions. I love listening. I love talking. So that's definitely my thing. Um, and so I think student government was like perfect for me, like just getting to know people. And I think being from Indiana, like the suburbs of Indianapolis, like there's a lot, like there's it's very homogenous. Like there's a lot of the same people. So going to college, like you need to branch out and talk to new people. So it's the perfect environment to do so.
So you mentioned that your COVID freshman experience wasn't the best. So how was COVID like at IU? What were some of the restrictions and some of the things that you're actually able to do?
So in 2020, like it was very much like, obviously it's more, I don't want to say chill, but like it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I have COVID, let me go quarantine for like
Yeah.
a couple days. If I test negative, I'll go about my life. But
Mhm.
2020 wasn't like that. So we had to go get tested like 3 times a week. You could select your times that you wanted, and then I don't know if they do this at Illinois, but we had to just like spit in a
Wow.
thing, spit in a cup like 3 times a week. Get in your line, you get your test, you get your thing back, your results back,
Mhm.
and that was fine. But like obviously like your responsibility, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. But then the social aspect, it was just literally so soul crushing. Um like sororities and like other like Greek life, like they weren't like doing like get to know you stuff. Clubs weren't doing get to know you stuff.
Mhm.
It was really heartbreaking, and they were doing it over Zoom. But like, who wants to do that over Zoom?
Right.
So like it takes the fun out of it. Like I remember like
Mhm.
for a sophomore year, we had that big activity fair that all colleges have, and it was my
Mhm.
first one, and it was the best feeling in the world. Like just like talking to different clubs, even clubs that like don't affect me in any possible way. Like I went to like the Muslim Student Association and got to talk to them just because it was fun. I'm not, I do not practice that religion at all, but it was still a great time. So yeah, it was super awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never, like I came in. I'm an incoming senior now, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So for me, the experience was completely different, right? I came in and we had that big event, and also I remember like 3 days into school, I was going to my first party, and
Yeah.
it was like the first big party of my life, and it's big. Those things are big.
Yeah, no, it's really sad because I felt like sophomore year was my freshman year. Like, I mean, obviously I went to like big parties and stuff like freshman year, but you still have that like, oh, gotta go get tested. I gotta and that kind of like is lifting. It's still in the process of like kind of like alleviating from your mind like that stress about COVID and stuff. Like, I had my first spring break, and that, oh my god, like it was such a it was my first cliche like college moment, and it like hit me as a sophomore like, wow, like I'm in college.
Especially because I don't know how it was for IU, but U of I. So I'm also a 2020 graduate, and how it was for us, our freshman year was weird because they had 3 days that we had off instead of a spring break. So even just getting that spring break, it was that stress off, at least that break or something.
Yeah, no, definitely. For us at IU, we had the longest. We had to leave in November. We had December and January, and that was like our spring break.
Okay.
And it was so weird. And honestly, it was so bad. Like, I would have rather been at school, like studying for like exams, because I was home for like 2.5 months. It was terrible, but we got through it. Class of 2020. Woo.
I was there. So our next question actually is, because you have a concentration in PR within your journalism major. And as someone with the concentration in PR, what are some things that your experience within student government has helped you to learn a little bit about media and PR, especially because you're doing international type of government? So how has that helped you learn a little bit about that PR and media?
Yeah, it's definitely like the role that I play in student government and then my concentration, definitely they help so much, and they definitely like complement each other. I remember like having to like even write things for student government. I remember like Purdue University had this like terrible situation happen where a cop was like really aggressive with a student, and obviously a black student, and it obviously went viral, and all this stuff happened, and we were like, as IU student government, we were like, we need to like say this is not okay, and like Purdue and IU are like rivals, and so we need to like emphasize that we stand with Purdue in this situation. We need to like hold like Purdue PD accountable, all this stuff. And so even writing that, like it's almost like it's like a little press release or something. So like that, and I learned all this stuff in my journalism classes about PR and writing to persuade and all of this stuff. So it definitely complements each other, and it's like a really great feeling. And yeah, it definitely helps for sure.
What do you enjoy about PR? What's the work like?
I truly, okay, so I went into my freshman year with just international studies. I knew I wanted to do international studies. I knew I wanted to do something in like the political realm, like government, something like that. And I kind of had to hear my dad's mouth because he was like, you don't I'm not sure if like this is something that you can pursue like unless you go to law school. And no one wants to like hear that. No one wants to hear like you can't do what you love unless like you're gonna make money. So I was like, okay, maybe I should add another major that it's like a completely opposite thing. Just so I like I have more opportunities like that aren't just international relations. So like he was right. So it I added a journalism major with PR. I feel like a lot of the journalism kids that I knew, that I know, like they were in like newspaper, yearbook in high school, all of this stuff. I had nothing to like, it's not that it wasn't my thing. I just never pursued it. And so all the journalism kids, all the media school kids, they were doing the school paper, the college paper. And they were doing broadcasting, all of that stuff. And I was like, I don't know what I fit in. I don't know if I fit in like writing. I don't know if I fit in like talking in front of camera. I don't know. And I've never experienced that. So I just thought PR was a good middle ground. Like you can talk to people, you can talk in front of a camera, you can write press releases, and it's almost like it's like a jack of all trades almost. And I don't want to like sell myself short. I don't want to like close myself to opportunities just because I like chose a concentration in broadcasting or like just writing. Like I don't want to do that. So I thought PR was a good middle ground, and hopefully next year I'll like pursue writing or writing for the school paper or like journalism or like broadcasting or like working for like IU News or whatever. Mm-hmm. But for the time being, I just felt like PR was. I kind of did it on a short. On what's that saying? I did it spontaneously, but it worked out really, really well, and I'm really happy it did. So I took Principles of PR last semester. It was such a great class. I learned about so much, and I learned about how to like spin like stuff like on its head, so to make like, and about transparency, about like values and how to like measure your morals or your values in PR, because like your morals or values might not be the same as someone else's. Someone might be completely okay with like lying to like people and like just say, oh, that's PR. So that was really interesting, and it's made me like measure my like values, like because this is a very like ethical, well not ethical, but like you have to gauge your ethics in this industry, because like you can plagiarize, you can lie, you can cheat, and it's really like heavy stuff, but it's something, it's just really cool to like learn about all that stuff, especially from like all my professors have been really great, and they're really like they are really good at what they do. So just hearing it from like professionals who have been in this industry for like 30 plus years, it's awesome.
Right, there's some philosophy involved.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So we talked a little bit about your journalism side of the major, but let's talk a little bit about your international relations side. So when we talked to you a little bit before the interview, you mentioned that in middle school you studied in London, and that was one of the reasons you wanted to go to international relations. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
So yeah, when I was in middle school, my dad told us we were moving to London, England, and I was heartbroken, literally heartbroken. But it turned out to be the best 3 years of my life. I got to go to like 45 different countries, and I got to go to a great international school. I got to meet 45. Like people all over the world, which I think kind of like established my love for talking to people and talking to different types of people. And it was a great experience. And it just kind of, I really figured out that like I want to do this when I'm older. Like I want to do this for my kids. I want to like have them, because like I don't know, I just have this new like appreciation for like different cultures, different ways of life that like I would not have if I like stayed in Indiana. And for those 3 years it was great. And then my parents told me like we're moving back to Indiana, and I was like, what? Like, why are you doing this to me? What? And so freshman year of high school, I moved back 10 days before school started, and I was back in Indiana, and I just learned to be okay with it. But I was just like, dang, like, why? Like, but yeah, so I kind of realized that this was like something I wanted to do. I wanted to travel. I wanted to, and also traveling to 45 different countries, you see a lot. I went to like the richest parts of like Paris, but then I also went to like the slums of Morocco, and you really want to see like, you want to help better those countries but not in like an invasive way. You want to like help them become like successful, like developed countries. And I think that's always what I wanted to do. And that's why I knew international studies was something that I wanted to do from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. International experiences are huge, right? They change your view of the world.
Definitely.
And we also want to talk a little bit about your experience in internships, right? We know that your first internship was in Enhanced DNA Publishing, a small Black-owned book publishing company in Indianapolis. Can you talk a little bit about your tasks and how you got there, what you did?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, and I truly have my parents to thank because they like helped set me up for success. When I was in high school, they had me do this thing called Center for Leadership Development, and basically it's like this scholarship program, and it's the reason I'm at IU, and it's the reason I got this internship. So all throughout high school, they had different opportunities. Like they had etiquette classes, they had scholarship stuff, like all of this really fun stuff. So when I was a sophomore, I went and started these scholarship classes, and it was a great time. Got to IU, and I found out that they offered like stuff for post like graduates, like who people graduated high school and were off college and alumni of Center for Leadership Development, and they had these internships, and I was like, I was a sophomore at the time when I saw this, so literally this time last year, and I was like, I don't know if this is something I want to pursue just because like I'm a college student. Obviously grades come first. And I didn't know how invested like this would be, but my boss, Denola, she is the owner of Enhanced DNA Publishing, and she was so great. She really just needed someone to like help her with social media posts, make some Canva posts, email. I had a few projects. Like I helped make a youth writing contest, and whoever won, like we published their book. And it was really awesome because the girl's face when we told her that she won, it was really like rewarding, and like you felt all good inside, and it was a really great feeling, and help like knowing that like you kind of initiated that, and this like that girl could be like a like award-winning book author someday, and that could be her first book. Like it's a great feeling. And so I would like post for that, I would send press releases out for that, make people aware of what we were doing, and it was a great like time, and it wasn't very invasive of like my time. I worked like 5 hours a week, and like I got paid, and so the money was really nice, especially as a college kid. But it was just really the experience, and I really think that without that internship, I don't think I would be at the current internship I'm at. So that's really nice, and yeah, it didn't really feel like work at all. Like I was just making posts, scheduling posts, like sending out emails to people, and it felt really good. So yeah.
Well, speaking of your current internship, right now you are interning at Havas as a corporate communications intern. So why did you choose to go to advertising route with the internship? And how has your previous experience helped you succeed as an intern in Havas right now?
Yeah, so I'm going to be completely honest. If you had told me like literally 2 months ago that I would be interning for a great advertising agency, I would be like, you're kidding. Like you're lying. You're no, because I had no intentions of being where I am right now. Like I said, my parents have always kind of set me up for success. They've always wanted me to succeed. So they're like, Kayla, like we want you to get an internship. And I'm like, okay, like I will do, like, I'm not doing anything else in my summer. Like that was the expectation, and that's completely fine. It just happened that a lot of the internships that I wanted, they did not want me. And it was a very heartbreaking and stressful couple of months applying. I applied for strictly international relations, public affairs, political science, because that was like I said, my primary like major, like what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in government. So I would apply for Indiana government, I would apply for DC, like I would apply for all of these places, and I would just like get to round one, round two, and then nothing. And so it was really heartbreaking. And I got a LinkedIn in February because I thought it was about that time that I should do it. And so my dad was like just tagging me and stuff because he's a dad, like just tagging me. Like he was like, "Oh, you should apply for this," and I'm like, "Okay, Dad," and just kind of applying it just to get it out the way. But he would like send stuff that I would have no intention of like applying for, and then I saw this. He tagged me in this thing that said, Havas is looking for the Village interns, and I was like, "What's the Village? Like what? Like what?" And he was, and the ad was like, "We want like trendy college kids and all of this stuff," and I was like, "Okay." And so I applied. Didn't hear back for like a couple weeks, and I was like, "Okay, I must have not gotten it," and that's okay. Kept applying for other internships, and by May 1st, I was literally so sorry. I was literally so stressed, so heartbroken because I had not a single ounce of hope left in me for internships. And then, by the grace of God, I got this email from Havas, and they were like, "Oh, we would love to meet with you." And I was like, "About time." Like, oh my God. And the interview went so great. They asked me about like my experience with press releases, what I'm doing in school. They were very nice, very like personable. It didn't feel like an interview. And then literally the next 2 hours later, they called and said, "You got it." And I was like, what?
Damn.
Like, it felt like a fever dream. Absolutely. And I was like and like I said, it wasn't my intention to like do this, but as about to be junior in college, an internship's an internship, and it turned out to be the best decision ever. Like Havas is a respected agency. Their clients are like great companies. Like it's great. So it was really rewarding, and thanks to my dad and LinkedIn for that.
Wow. So maybe that is helpful, you know, when your parents tag you and stuff.
It's always the parents. They find the randomest stuff that turns out to be the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are you doing in the internship? What is kind of your daily look like?
Yeah, so I am corporate communications and new business intern. I basically, well, for the most part, we're really working on our intern project. So there's 11 interns. That's the Village, and basically we have to come up with something for a cause we believe in. That's it. That's it. And they just, you kind of have to roll with it from there. And we're trying to find like stuff that we're really passionate about, and it's really hard because imagine 11 interns who are literally ranging in age from 19 to 32, college students, like not college students, like different backgrounds, like we all care about different stuff. So yeah, it was interesting, but we have like pitch meetings, like talking up to like clients for this cause that we believe in, and the cause that we chose is Black mental health, and about how there's a distrust of healthcare and mental health care in the Black community, and we wanted to make people aware of that and get Black people to therapy. And so we thought the coolest way to do that would be through hair care, because that's like hair salons, barbershops. That's where Black people feel comfortable, very comfortable. And so we called it therapy. And so basically for the past like couple weeks, I've just been pitching to Black therapists, Black salon owners, about this potential idea and how if they would like love to be a part of it or not. And so, sorry. Okay, I think they're okay. Sorry, yeah. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6 weeks. Hi, Maggie. That's that's what I've been doing for the past 6 weeks, and it's really great. It's really rewarding, and it's really nice to see it all come together. And it's really, really rewarding. And I feel like it's a really cool work job. Like I come to my office at 9 to 5, and I like just talk, and I have pitch meetings, and I have clients, and it's really cool. And I have a great manager, I have a great mentor, Gino, and hi, Olivia. I have a great mentor, and yeah, it's a great support system, and I really enjoy it.
That's sweet.
That's amazing to hear. That's also really cool because a lot of internships are all differently based, and that you guys get to actually like have pitch meetings and all of that's amazing to even hear because it's so real too.
Yeah, definitely.
And as our last question for today, we want to know what are some tips, tricks, or resources that you recommend for students interested in journalism, PR, media, or advertising?
I would say absolutely, positively, 100% network. Networking is so important. I went to my journalism class and we had a guest speaker. And obviously during guest speaker, you just kind of lay back. You might be on your phone a bit. But we had a guest speaker who was in advertising. Mind you, this was not like an advertising class. It was literally just intro to journalism. So they were just like they brought in guest speakers who were in different parts of journalism, and this was just happened to be one of them. And so I just, was kind of just talking, just listening to him. And this was right by the time I had gotten LinkedIn. So after he talked, I connected with him on LinkedIn, and he was IU grad, and I ended up name dropping him in my interview. And I was in my Havas interview, and they were like, "Oh, we love Gary. Like, yeah, he goes to IU, or he went to IU. He like works there a lot and helps out with the media school." And they were really, I think they liked that I had that like slightest bit of connection. And like, even while I'm at Havas, like I take that opportunity to talk to people, LinkedIn, all of that stuff. So that is super important in any field that you go into. Like, you really just have to know people. I cannot stress that enough.
Great. Well, Thank you so much for coming onto our show today. It was amazing to hear a little bit about your story and to hear a little bit about how that connects to the government and student politics.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you're a great people person. And thank you.
Thank you.
If you like what you heard, check out our parent company's Instagram at Breaking and Entering Pod for more info on our guests and more content. That's at Breaking and Entering Pod.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time in the Juvenile podcast.